Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Dan French, Wealthytainment. You guys know my channel, entrepreneurs, financing, pretty much anything related to how-tos, motivation, and also interviews I'm going to start doing. And if you guys are first to this channel, thank you for tuning in on this topic. I'm going to talk today about FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. It's been a year anniversary since he was arrested in November of 2022. And what is the impact today? And where does cryptocurrency go from here? And also these sponsorships, right? We're going to talk about all of these sponsorships that are paid out to politicians and to all these celebrities and these sports athletes, everybody out there that receive money. What's going to happen to them with this class action lawsuit reaching $5 billion of money that they want to get back from this lawsuit? So going back to Sam Bankman-Fried and cryptocurrency and where we're headed, let's talk about him, right? So he was found guilty here in 2023. He was running FTX, which is an exchange similar to a stock exchange. What FTX is like a casino, right? He owned the casino. People would come into his casino, invest money into his casino based off of whatever games, if you want to put it into reference. The risk threshold, you either make money or you don't. I think a lot of people just put too much trust. A lot of these investments and investors, especially these middle class or these average investors out there that don't and did not do a lot of research, put way too much trust into FTX and what happened. And unfortunately, they were taken advantage of. And so everything comes out in the wash. I've always said that, deceiving people, not doing the right thing, kind of being shady or setting up stuff. This is Bernie Madoff, right? Another form of what happened with Bernie Madoff, stealing people's money, using that money, which this is what Sam Bankman-Fried, to invest into his own investments and for his own benefit, investing into politicians and pushing his agenda. And honestly, I think he felt like it was too big to fail. You know, going back to Sam Bankman-Fried, he is a guy that, you know, a lot of people liked. He was a guy that was everybody was on his train. Everybody was about FTX. He's going to be the first trillionaire. You know, he's going to be the youngest trillionaire in history, right? His company was on pace to do that. Everybody saw the charts. Everything was going up. The confidence was at an all-time high with FTX before the collapse. And what happened was, well, you know, him paying money to politicians, he was arrested. What his demise was, what people don't understand is Terra Luna, which was another form of cryptocurrency, started this problem for FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. You could see this big collapse here on November 9th of 2022. And ultimately he was, arrested. And now he's found guilty a year later, exactly a year later. Now, when you're looking at Terra Luna, what happened is people started pulling their money out of that form of cryptocurrency, which ultimately led to panic. And when everybody started to panic, because you got to think, cryptocurrency is not really a proven commodity over time. I mean, it is, but people were just getting into it and they had some skepticism. They didn't really understand it. It's different, right? It's something new at that time or for a lot of people. So they started pulling their money out. And when there was $8 billion not accounted for, FTX was forced to be bankrupt and go into insolvency. And Sam Bankman-Fried, you know, here's Shaq. He got $750,000 paid out from FTX for endorsements. Lost, I believe, $18 million of his own money that he had invested in here. Also, Tom Brady really took a liking to him. Really thought he was an interesting guy. Lost $45 million between him and his ex-wife. And so when you look at Tom Brady and you look at what happened with him, and he received $250,000, this changed the landscape for not only sponsorship, but for crypto in general. A lot of people, when this happened, have now lost confidence in cryptocurrency. That doesn't mean they're not going to come back, but there's got to be something that's going to regulate this on a bigger scale. And that's where the SEC will come in. Let's listen to what Sam Bankman-Fried had to say at the time he got caught, and then I'm going to give you my opinion, come back and tell you what I think of this whole situation.
I think that left it vulnerable in a world in which there was a change in economic environment, which we saw with interest rates rising, money tightening quite a bit, borrowers tightening quite a bit, and risk assets falling. I think a second thing was, the classic story of the sort of idiosyncratic market crash that specifically targets assets that one party holds. That's what happened with long-term capital management. It's what happened in other cases, and it happened here as well. And part of that means that even when Alameda did have a bunch of hedges on, I think later this year, those didn't do very much in the crash in early November because it wasn't a broad-based market crash. It was a specific crash in assets that Alameda held. And
What was some of the
So you can see what he had to say there, right? And so basically, he's coming out and bypassing, saying, well, these things happen and this is a crash, but there's a reason for it. And there is no reason. I mean, the real reason is he was just scamming money. I mean, if you think about it, you know, people did have trust with FTX, they do have trust with crypto. But what he did is setting up that second Alameda research and having that money go directly to that account was really his downfall. Now, one of the people that came out was Taylor Swift. She's been in the news a lot recently, and she signed a $100 million contract to endorse FTX. And one of the things that she asked was, which is very smart. Now, let's be honest. Does all these celebrities and all these, people that have money like this, celebrities, athletes, are they the ones actually asking these questions? Probably not. They're getting the advice from their financial advisor. But, she came out. Apparently, she asked them, are these unregistered securities? And so when asked that question, is classified as security because they said it was because it was sold as an investment contract. However, what they did find out is it was not registered. And so if these athletes, these other sponsorships, these political parties, everybody else, if they asked that question, then that would have definitely thrown a red flag for me that said, you know what, I may not want to invest into a company that's not being registered. Like I said, the SEC is going to get involved here and they're going to make this more regulated. So going back to crypto and what's happening with this class action lawsuit, let's talk about that first. I think what's going to happen is you've already seen there's numerous people that's involved in this class action lawsuit, $5 billion worth. They're going to end up settling for this lawsuit to avoid the bad publicity, right? They don't want to go to court or trial and go through this process and be a part. They just want this behind them because at this point, it's a negative thing out there. So they have an uphill battle. It's just getting started, right? For these celebrities and these politicians and all these people that were endorsed and received money. But I feel like it's gonna happen behind the scenes where you're gonna get some type of settlement agreement amongst all parties, and then it's just probably gonna go away at that point. I do feel that celebrities and people are going to start asking better questions, not getting into these situations like they're in now. Now, as far as crypto, I remember investing into crypto in 2014. I invested about $2,000. My biggest concern was that it was digital, that people could go in or some entity could go in and wipe us out, right? There's no form of having a tangible asset, like a house or like a commodity or something like that. So I was always worried about investing large amounts of crypto because I felt it could be manipulated or it could be, basically removed. Now, if the SEC gets involved, I think it's going to bring back a lot more confidence and everybody, including this debt-based society that we're in. The only reason anything is worth anything is because you and I think that there's value to it. And once we do the exchange, there's value for that exchange. So I feel that cryptocurrency is going to come back, or a bigger problem with what happened with Sam Bankman-Fried, because I think there's going to be some people that just don't come back altogether. But you have newer generations coming in. A lot of people still have made a lot of money through Bitcoin, Ethereum, those types of cryptocurrency and those coins. And here's my thing is that there's nothing that, if the SEC comes in and they control and regulate it, it's just going to build that much more confidence for people. I'm going to continue to invest. I know there's a lot of skepticism. Again, I had skepticism in crypto just because it was the unknown. But what intrigued me was it was something that I don't feel like I felt at the time when I was doing it. It's something new. It was progressing. I think we're going to continue to see this going up into 2024. And I think it's still a wise investment for anybody out there that wants to avoid the stock market. I think crypto, gold, silver. I also think that, maybe investment properties or some type of, dwelling or commercial building. If you can invest money into those things, they're going to continuously keep going and growing. And that's my opinion on this. So crypto, I think, is going to be here to stay. Please subscribe, like the channel, and I'll see you guys at the next one. I'm out of here.